So I just want to go ahead and come right to the chase and ask the question that everybody has in their mind. Tell us about the two picnic ladies.
Well, we needed two ladies for the scene, and they were, I believe one of them was the aunt of the producer, Don Rasmussen, and the other woman was her friend, so they just came out. I felt bad for them, because we shot this in it was almost winter in Chicago, well, in Wisconsin actually, and we had these two old ladies come out in bathing suits, and it was cold, but they didn't complain, it was great.
She had a cold one.
They did, well, they really did.
It's around this time, 1992, I think most people approaching their first movie would make like a slasher. Put a guy in a mask, have him kill people. But you decided to make a romance, martial arts, horror, comedy, zombie movie. So what led you on the path to being so ambitious to undertake this project?
Well, producer Don Rasmussen, he asked me, he's like, we tried to figure out what kind of movie we wanted to make for our first Super 8 feature film, because we bought this was toward the end of the Super 8 feature cycle. If any of you remember the Mark Pirro film, Polish Vampire in Burbank, that started it, and then we ended it. So this was kind of the end of the cycle, but we bought a Super 8 package, and we were going to make our first feature. And we thought, well, we went through the gamut of what we wanted to be about. We knew we wanted to make it kind of like a horror exploitation picture. And so we came up with Vampire Cop, and then we well, no, because Super 8 film doesn't have a lot of latitude for night scenes, so we decided we needed a monster that we could look at during the day. So then we went through, something else, ninja something, and then okay, ninja nuns, let's do ninja nuns. And no, it needs to be a monster. So the other thing we came up with was zombie, okay, so we'll do ninja zombie. And we just wanted to make it just have this, the budget obviously was peanuts, but we just wanted to have as much fun with it, make it look as good as we could, with as far as locations and makeup effects and things like that. Don Rasmussen, the producer, was also a makeup artist, so he knew what what needed to be done and stuff like that. So we just wanted to make it, we knew it was going to be low budget, but we wanted to make it as big as we could.
Super 8's a huge headache to work with. I mean, you're talking about the light and everything, but it's just constantly a really difficult format. So how long did you spend shooting this?
Well, I think we shot the majority of it, and then we went back and got a few pickup days. But I think the majority of it we did in about 3 weeks. I think.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and then like I said, 3D or the Super 8 is really hard to work with, and it's a negative stock, and so that means the film you shoot on is the film you get back from the lab. So we edited it on an old-fashioned Super 8 moviola thing. So what we didn't realize was that while we were looking at the footage and while we were editing the footage, we were scratching the fuck out of it and putting in splice, and so splices. You can see splices, you can see scratches. There's the occasional grease pencil mark, So, someone later told me, you should have transferred the footage to video and edit on video. I'm like, yeah, I guess that's the way we should have gone. But this is how it turned out.
I find the martial arts to be very impressive in this movie. I really think, for such a small budget. And my favorite part is actually when the ninja zombie kicks someone and then he does the flip over and he does the little booty kicks. It's so great. So I was wondering, how much training did you guys have? Was anyone trained, or how did you pull that off?
Well, the lead, John Hill, he was a gymnast. So he didn't have a lot of he had some fight choreography training, but no real martial arts training. So our fight choreographer, who was actually Scott Heap, who was the blonde guy in the tennis match, the one who can't find the ball, he was our fight choreographer. So he taught John some moves on that. He taught everybody some moves, but the only ones who really had any martial arts training were the Asian guys who were in the fight scenes. They were all, kids who'd gone to martial karate school and stuff like that, so they knew what to do. Everybody else had to have a little bit of training, including, if you'll notice in the archaeological dig scene when they attack, we put an ad in the paper asking for extras, looking for extras to come and be in this fight scene. Nobody showed up. So we had to go and grab the crew, okay? All the grips, the PAs, the sound guy. You guys are now fighting the Red Spider cult, okay? So the fight choreographer was there. He gave each one of them, we paired them up. He took each one of them aside, taught them a few moves, and then we just shot it 5 or 6 times and just cut it. But they had no training at all. They were just pulled in at the last second and taught these moves to do. So The sword fight at the end was taught that by a different guy. That was actually the guy who was the first leg of the Red Spider cult, the one who gets killed.
The really big guy.
The big guy. He was the sword fight coordinator, so he figured that one out. He taught them how to do that, because Terry Dunn, the guy who played Spithrachne, had no fight training whatsoever, none. So he had to be taught how to do that whole sword fight.
He was really, really into that role.
He almost walked off the set the second day because I had told him, I said, look, here's how I want you to play this part. I want you to play this part, and this is one of my favorite expressions when I direct villains. I said, I want you to play the part like a velvet tiger. And he's like, I don't understand. And he goes, no, I want you to play the part, play it like David Niven would play it as a villain. And he goes, I don't want to do that. He goes, I want to play it like Jack Nicholson from the Joker and Batman. And I'm like, well, I don't want you to play it that way. So he goes, well, I'm leaving. I'm like, well, okay, let's find a happy medium. So he kind of straddled the line, I think. But yeah, he was totally into it.
Was he a theater guy, or?
He was mainly a theatrical guy from the stage, yeah. In fact, after Ninja Zombie, he left to go to New York to try to break into Broadway. So I don't know if he did or not. I've never heard from him since.
Well, we have a surprise for you.
Put down that gun.
So you guys finished the movie, and what happened with it? Because it was never released. What happened after you finished it?
We shot it, we were living in Chicago at the time. I was living in Chicago. The producer was living in Wisconsin. So we shot it mostly in the Wisconsin area. But we sent it to a few distributors in Chicago. Nobody wanted it. One guy said it was too mean-spirited. And turned it down. So what we happened, we found, the producer found a film rep in New York, who said, I'll let me rep the film, I'll try to find distribution for it. So we signed a 10-year contract with him, and over the course of those 10 years, he did nothing. He could do nothing. He said, I can't sell it to anybody. So it just languished in limbo for 10 years. And then after that, we got, the rights expired, we got it back. But at that time, Don was doing other stuff, I was doing other stuff. We just like, okay, just put it in a shelf in my garage until I heard from Zach.
And wait for these nerds from Texas to write to me. It's true, that's a true story. So you must have been very skeptical of our intentions when you got this message out of
No, not skeptical, just bewildered. And I got an email from Zach saying, whatever happened to that movie Ninja Zombie? Because what happened was we sent a few screeners out, and there were a few, you might remember a magazine called Film Threat. So the first issue of Film Threat reviewed Ninja Zombie. It's on the last page, and they gave it a really good review. But again, nothing happened to it. So years go by, and I get this email from Zach saying, whatever happened to that movie? And I'm like, well, nothing. And he's like, so can I see it? So I sent it to you, and that was that.
And you brought it over to my house.
That's right. We watched it together the first time. I should have invited you guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What about you guys? Who cares about us?
Yeah, I have a question. Like, can you tell me more about the character that brings the zombie to life? Like,
Brother Banjo.
Yeah, can you tell me more about that character and the actor who played him
Because we didn't have a lot of money, we pulled people from everywhere. Now, Brother Banjo is played by a really good friend of mine named Mike Weaver. Mike Weaver, I don't know if you guys probably don't remember this, but there was a stand-up comedian named Bertice Berry, and she had a short-lived television show, television talk show. Anyway, he married her, and we were really good friends. And I asked him if he would do the part. He's like, yeah, because Mike's very charismatic. You can see some of that on the screen. He's very funny and charming. And so I asked him if he would do it, and yeah, he said yes. And now Mike is actually a choreographer, and he's the #1 show choir choreographer in the country right now. But Mike agreed to do it, and like I said, we've been really good friends, and he had a good time. He had a blast doing it.
Obviously. Playing tennis.
playing tennis and doing like little things. When I went to, the sound was mixed at a professional sound studio called Zenith in Chicago. And we went in one day to listen to because they had put sound effects in. And it came to the part where he does the little squiggle in the air, and they had put this like kazoo sound effect to it. And I was just, what the hell's that? And they all just started laughing. It was a practical joke.
There was another one that was, I thought there was a simultaneous question. No. Oh, hello.
Hi. Are you still in touch with anyone on this movie? And do you have any idea what anyone's up to right now?
Not really, not too many. I'm still friends with the producer Don Rasmussen. He started a video production company in Wisconsin, and they do like industrials and stuff like that. But everybody else, everybody just kind of lost touch with. And I recently reconnected with John Hill, who played Ninja Zombie, about a year ago when we were working on the DVD. I found him out. He was living in Los Angeles, just like me, and he's actually started his own directing career. He just directed a movie. He's gonna kill me because I can't remember the name of it, but he just directed a film and actually won a couple awards. So he's started his own directing career now. But other than that, pretty much everyone I've kind of lost touch with.
Kung Fu Panda 3. I think. Just guessing. I thought there was another hand up there. Oh, you guys are so shy and cute.
Okay.
Oh, right there you go.
Yeah. Was there any alternate endings to the movie at all, or no? Or?
No, this was always going to be the ending. We always knew we were going to kill her off, but they were still going to live happily ever after as a dead couple.
So, since there's been more, going on with Ninja Zombie in the past year, have you been hearing from people about it? Like, have people reached out and contacted you through, social media, whatever?
No.
They will.
I did hear from one guy. His name is Carmine Servi. He's the guy at the archaeological dig site who gets the throwing star in his back and then gets one in his hand. He contacts, he's like, "What's going on with the movie?" He's like, "It's been all these years. I've completely forgotten about it." I'm like, "Yeah, well, so did I." But it's happening. So he's the one who reached out. I sent him a DVD copy of it, by the way. But yeah, he's about the only one. Everybody else has pretty much disappeared, as far as I know. The guy who played Orland Sands, he's credited as Michael Corelli, but he came to me. His real name's Adam Goldman, and he came, and that was what he wanted to be known as through the whole movie. Then at the end, we were finally finishing it up. We were doing credits. He goes, "I want to be credited as Michael Corell." I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "Because I think if people see this movie and I get more work, I think I can get more work if people think I'm Italian than if they think I'm Jewish." So that's why he changed
How did
his
that
name to
work
Michael
out for
Corell.
him?
I don't know. I looked him up on IMDb, nothing under either name, so who knows?
Well, we want to thank you guys so much for being here tonight for this screening. We want to thank our waitstaff. Please tip your waitstaff before you leave. Thank Julia up in the projection booth for her work. I want to thank this guy for making this happen, for making Ninja Zombie back out in the world, and especially thanks to Mark Bessenger for being here tonight. And we are going to be out in the lobby with copies of this DVD. If you would like to buy one and get one signed by Mark, we're going to be out there. This was awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you all so much. It was wonderful. This whole thing is wonderful. It was wonderful. Thank you.